thank you for joining us today on Heart Talks. I'm here with CJ Wilson. How you doing, CJ?
Doing pretty good, bro. Always good to see my dog Calvin, man. We've been cool since elementary school. So definitely feeling pretty good. Excited about, sitting down and chopping up with you a little bit.
Man, I appreciate that. And yeah, man, we go back to literally, I want to say third grade when you was dusting folks and on field day. I'll never forget that.
Right, bro. Some good memories there, man. Field day. I was telling a coworker of mine about I went down that field day, man. Like the field day was a big event back then for elementary school. We look forward to those field days and stuff like that.
What was the environment like for us growing up in Tallahassee? Like, what was it like?
Man, it was cool, man, because it was the crazy part about all the kids around us pretty much love the same thing, like word of mouth about knowing certain kids and things like that. So it was cool, man, going up in Tallahassee. As you know, I was going up on the north side. It was definitely tough.
This weekend, 3 separate shootings left 5 people injured in Tallahassee. The first shooting, Saturday night at 8:30 at the Griffin Heights Apartments. Then, at 2 in the morning, another shooting at Pasco and Liberty Streets near Florida A&M University. The final shooting at 4:30 in the morning on South Gadsden Street near Cascades Park.
First team organized ball was back with Walker Ford at City League. I was with the flag football team, the Hurricanes, actually. Kind of ironic, right? I'm a Florida State fan. Was with the Hurricanes going up in City League, flag football. Football for me was a big deal. It was something I always kind of wanted to do with my dad being a former football player and things like that. Elementary school, kindergarten, career day kids want to be doctors, lawyers, your generic type of deal. For me, I just wanted to play the NFL.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. And definitely tell your mom I said hello whenever you get to talk to her, man, because she was a very strong woman. Still is. I know, yeah, man, just having one of those moms that was always there, man. Like, she really, I felt like, guided you along the way and was always there for you. She was there for everybody, honestly. So big ups to your mom for that, for sure.
Everything a scrapbook, like throughout high school, all that type of deal. And it's cool now to kind of to look back, of course, on all the memories and all that type of deal, want to flip in, having my son and stuff kind of going through that little process as well. And being a freshman at guy, and kind of hearing my name and hearing about, your dad and that type of deal. Of course, I was the same way. I didn't believe none of that BS, right, man? Until, you actually hear people talk about it and see photos and stuff to go with it. So I'm glad she kept all the information for me.
So you come from a family of athletes. How do you think that environment shaped your mindset?
Ironically, man, it molded me to what I wanted to be, right, and what I wanted to do. And ultimately, the goal is to play football at a high level and go to the NFL, this, that, and third. But when I say molded me, more like a mindset thing as far as like locking in on what you want, being hungry, being driven. I wanted to be better than my dad, want to be better than my brothers and things like that, and just always had that competitive drive to not necessarily fall short. Football is a game of life lessons, in my opinion, and it kind of locked me in early to prepare for those life lessons and to be locked in, be accountable. And like, you could probably attest to this as well, learn at an early age, like, what are you willing to do to reach your goals, as far as locking in on the ultimate goal. I say all that to say this, man, having those goals at a certain age locked me in at an early age and kept me locked in throughout when football got tough. And, wanting at an early age pretty much made that decision easy to lock in and fully commit and finish the job. I think it kind of clicked in middle school, right? A little bit in middle school and probably early on in high school. Like you said, I was always kind of fast in that type of deal. Coming up in elementary school, was one of the fastest kids in I guess you could say the grade level that we were in that type of deal. But just kind of seeing that and then making certain plays, like in middle school, I'm starting both ways at Griffin, receiver and cornerback and that type of deal, and making certain plays and just certain things athletically kind of come easy, right? As far as doing certain things, and then you kind of realize, okay, you start to separate the older you get and things like that versus other people that you felt like were just as good as you say early on, and it just didn't keep up, so to speak. So I guess you could say middle school or early on in high school, just seeing that trajectory and seeing other kids like playing city league football, Levy Titan type of days and all that type of deal, you see, okay, man, this guy was the guy back then, not necessarily a guy right now. But at that point in time, I realized then, okay, I may have a shot at this, as far as possibly making it and doing some things on the football field and just getting a free education, which is what we all wanted at that point in time. Gabby had it all, and you know firsthand, because a lot of that talent came from down Bellevue, right? So firsthand how good that time was for not just Tallahassee football, but that side of town and Gabby football in general with all the talent, because a lot of those guys came up from Bellevue, and of course you got your Griffin fill-ins, raw fill-ins, and things like that.
The Tallahassee Godby football program have to be pretty good. Godby head coach Shelton Cruz calls new Florida State commit British Footman one of the best players he's ever coached.
This is just signing, right? Dre signs with Clemson. Marcus Udell signs with Alabama. We have offensive lineman Kareem goes to Louisville. Frank Grimes, defensive line, goes to Louisville. Our center, Pup McCaskill Keefe, he goes to South Florida. Rob Murray, our linebacker, he goes to Army. So pretty much we had like 8 or 9, 10 guys that signed Division I scholarships. But on the flip end, having that pressure, I also had that help as well, too, to have a DeAndre McDaniel, Emmanuel Francis, those kind of big brother type of upperclassmen to kind of put their arm around me, take me under their wing, so to speak, and kind of follow in what they do and seeing how they move around. Roy Upchurch, who was a senior during that time, ended up going to play football at Alabama. So that was the plus side of it, kind of getting into football early in the summer and kind of building those relationships with those guys and kind of sticking up under their wing and seeing how it goes. And that's just pretty much how football goes in general, right? It's like it goes in eras and things like that. So you learn, and then at a certain point you become the upper class when you become a teacher at a certain point as well too. So just going through that process, it was definitely an adjustment going from middle school to high school, and of course a school like Godby that had all of those things. And of course my brother DeAndre McDaniel was one of the more popular guys in Tallahassee, one of the, in my opinion, the best football player I've seen to this day, man. We talk about a lot of players that come through Tallahassee and this, that, and third, man, but Dre is up there for me. I'm talking about the guy that literally every damn sport he played in, he excelled in, from football to basketball to baseball, which was probably his best sport at a certain point. Ended up letting baseball go, track and field, and certain coaches was like, man, if he played baseball, he was an all Big Ben type of player. Basketball, averaging 20 points a game, and he didn't commit to it full time. He was, football, he goes right to football season, right into basketball, and didn't really commit to it, that type of deal. So you have him who was a highly recruited guy, kind of following in the shallows of, so to speak, right? Like Dre was the man in pretty much every damn sport, but he didn't really show it. I'm just kind of giving an example how much of a superstar he was. I'll never forget this. Pete Carroll came to Tallahassee, came to Godby, and they watched Dre practice one spring. Of course, at that point in time, USC was one of the top dogs in the country. Pete Carroll was a legendary coach, right? So to have that type of guy come from the West Coast to Tallahassee, the head coach himself, of course, assistant coaches come all the time, but the head coach come out and watch him specifically. And Pete Carroll, USC offered Dre as a receiver. They didn't even offer him as a defensive back, which he could have, like you said, he had special ability at receiver as well. So Pete Carroll literally came out to watch the entire practice, offered him that receiver, ended up committing to Clemson. Dre took like 2 official visits. He never came in and opened mail, none of that deal. Like he'd have piles full of college letters he didn't give a damn about, just push him to the side. Like our head coach, Coach Cruz, used to have to pretty much drag him in to open his stuff. Even when it came to the house, he never really cared about opening it. Committed to Clemson, like I said, early on. Wasn't a recruiting type of guy. Didn't go through the whole 5 official visits. And I say that to say this, man, he was so dang humble, and that stuff really didn't bother him or whatnot. At one point in time, he was probably the most popular dude in Tallahassee, right? From a high school standpoint. But if you knew him and been around, like none of that stuff mattered to him or didn't phase him any bit, man. So, and the talent he had was just crazy. So to have that to look up to was definitely a blessing. But we got in a big fight with East Gaston, right? We had a huge fight with East Gaston. We had 2 of our best players, 2 of our craziest players, 2 that was on the sideline, British Footman and Damon McGriff. 2 of the best damn players, 2 of the craziest players. So defense is on the field. Those 2 guys run onto the field and wanted all the smoke in regards to that. So, in high school, like you can't come on the field. They teach that all the time, right? So those guys ran on the field, and just imagine being on the East Gaston side, right? You see this 5'10", ball full of muscles, 240-pound, fast as a damn gazelle, strong as hell, and just crazy as all outdoors, angry as hell, running directly at you. Like, just imagine that, man. Rest in peace, Damon McGriff. Another guy that was just a hell of an athlete in regards to everything he was able to do. And of course, British Phillips was one of the best running backs to come through. But long story short, those were the two of our best players on the team. They ended up getting suspended for the Lincoln game that very next week, and I think a little bit into the playoffs as well. And our other starting corner, Gary, he ended up getting suspended for the entirety of the rest of the season and the rest of the playoffs due to he ended up taking his helmet off and hitting the East Gaston guy across the head. Well, it was a crazy fight, man, crazy. So we had to start a true freshman cornerback on the opposite side of me for the remainder of the season. So we go to the Lincoln game, which is it still bugs me to this damn day because that Lincoln game was on national TV. And that was the year everybody loved Lincoln, right? This was the team that Lincoln was supposed to be this, that, and the third. That 2007 class, Brandon Paul, Ricky McGee, Tim Lamb. Pretty much they had a whole stack of guys, right? And of course,
Gary's over there too. Remember him?
Who?
Josh Gary's receiver.
White receiver, man, fast as hell, man.
I ain't never seen nobody do it like him, man.
And I respect Josh to this day, man. Josh was a nice white receiver. Ain't with no gloves, no nothing.
None of that.
He'd give you a 9 right like a mug, bro. And BJ was laying it out for him. So you had those 07 guys tied with the 08 guys, Josh, like you stated, BJ, TJ Bryant, who was the best cornerback in the nation at the point of time. So Lincoln was loaded. So we had a chip on our shoulder against those guys. And we in first or second quarter trying to tackle BJ. It's hell trying to tackle BJ, right?
Yeah, BJ, I remember that game too. Yeah, BJ got off that game.
BJ, it was the BJ Daniels show that game, without a doubt. The BJ Daniels show. So Lincoln ended up blowing us out that game. And then in the playoffs, we ended up going third round and ended up losing to St. Augustine, who went ahead and won the state championship that year. We were so damn low. That 2007 year when Moran came over, shout out to Moran, my big brother, man. I love you to this day, man. Rest in peace, Moran. Taught me so much. But this is a guy that was at Florida High, like you said. Moran was already an all Big Ben type of player at Florida High, right? And the thing is, Moran wasn't the fastest and things like that. He just knew how to play football. He was quick as hell, strong as hell, great hands, and he had instincts. Like his football instincts was up there. You talking about a nose for the football, just a playmaker. Moran Butler was a playmaker, man. So he comes over and he earned his damn keep. It wasn't no, man, no, I was all being at Florida. Nah, it wasn't none of that. He pretty much tried to earn respect with the players, became a part of the team and that type of deal. And we had like a pregame ritual. He'd bring me a pack of Skittles. He'd eat a pack of Skittles, so he'd eat them on the way to the stadium, that type of deal. I love you, big bro, Moran. He later on down the line, he ended up going to I kind of followed his path as far as prep school.
I was just happy that, for North Florida teams was able to, put them on the map. So
yeah, you were supposed to be a Cougar, bro, but I ain't gonna lie, you was the man over at Florida High, but that's another story for a different day. These people gotta know, man. Calvin Dennis was a dog too, man.
I appreciate that.
So next, of course, college football, wanting to play college football, and it goes back to that story about not taking care of your business on it early on. And that's why I'm on my son now and telling him how important your grades are as far as locking in. So I was lucky. Back then, you were able to go to a prep school. And what a prep school is, if you guys don't know, preparatory school to where you go to a school for a semester rather, and you kind of enroll to your following school if you have a scholarship, this, that, and the third, that following January or maybe that summer, depending on where you're going to school at. And you don't lose any eligibility, you join that freshman class, so to speak. So, I graduated in 2008 at Bethune-Cookman, which I went to after the fact. I was a freshman in 2009. Didn't lose any eligibility in that type of deal due to going to the prep school. And that was a popular thing for us during that era. You had Hargrave, you had Fort Union, you had, I think, Milford up in New York, and NC Tech is where I went to as a new school. NC Tech, their claim to fame was Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown went to NC Tech. He played ball there and then ended up going to Central Michigan from there. And of course, AB had a Hall of Fame career, in my opinion. Off the field, Anders is another discussion. But Ron ended up going to NC Tech after Gabi as well. So I'm kind of looking and trying to figure out what's the next move, and NC Tech come calling. Speaking with Ron, kind of get a recommendation from here, and long story short, end up going to NC Tech. Great, one of the best great decision for me. My count number was 120. We had like, I want to say like 25 to 30 corners, right? A lot of cats left for count. A lot of cats said, nah, man, it's too crazy. I can't do it. And I was like, nah, man, I can't go back. Like, I know what I want to do. I'm locked in. This is what the process is. Whatever it takes, I'm gonna do it. Long story short, those 35 corners I've ended up starting game one. Become one of the better corners on the team. Game one, I had a pick six game one, if I'm not mistaken. Took a punt back the second game. And from a talent standpoint, this is some of the best talent I've been around because these guys were good. Gerald Bowman, one of my safeties, he ended up going JUCO and then signing with USC. Started for like 2 years at USC. Second, my roommate Stan ended up going second round by New Orleans Saints from Nebraska. So we had a lot of talent within that room, a lot of talent within that DB room and all around. So to kind of be one of the best guys on that team and start, and that made me realize, like, okay, yeah. So we all live in this apartment complex, and pretty much it's dog eat dog, kind of get it how you live, man. It was real rough. Our coaches didn't help us making film and things like that. So at the tail end of the season, we're trying to get things together. He has a couple game films, full game films that he got from his tight end coach. Say, hey man, whatever you can do with it, you can do with it. The head coach is really tripping on us giving y'all film, which is crappy, right? So with the little clips he had, we were able to make a highlight tape. So we spent all night using Stan's computer making a highlight tape. The computer died like at 6 o'clock because he didn't have a charger for it. The charger broke or it got stolen like the day before. So the charger got stolen like the day before. And we didn't have any money, so we ended up going to Best Buy. Long story short, man, we ended up stealing a charger from Best Buy off of one of the display laptops they used to have up. Ended up completing the highlight tape. The next morning, the laptop got stolen. I get a call from, it's crazy, I was actually close to going to Tennessee, which was, it was kind of weird when Lane Kiff was the head coach. Tennessee was recruiting me really hard, actually, and they was reaching out to NC Tech about me as well, too. But I sent the tape, my tape to Bethune-Cookman, got the offer. Randy. Yeah, so I had my son in 2010, December 29th. It's crazy. It's going on his 15th birthday. And I remember that like it was yesterday as well, too, man. That changed a lot, too, man. Just having that perspective of, having my son, and I had him young, too, 21 years old, sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. Having him put a lot of stuff in perspective, right? Just from a responsibility standpoint, man, and just seeing how much what I have to do in order to make him happy, provide for him, and that type of deal, just wanted me to go even harder, right? And it's crazy, man, just to see him over the years, what he is now, and going through that time frame with wearing helmets on the way to the game, being on the sideline, and stuff. It kind of reminds me about the story I was telling, like in elementary school. Want to be a firefighter, want to be a doctor, teacher, whatever. And I want to play football because of my dad.
Yeah, just to echo what James said, appreciate you guys coming out. This is just a sampler. I really
Doak Talk is a podcast covering FSU football via YouTube, and just me doing what I love and talking about sports and then bringing that back together. And it also brought back, I guess you could say, all of those feelings I had 10 plus years ago in school or whatever, the drive that I had, it brought all of that back, man. This is the reason why I really got into it and the reason why I wanted to do it. So I appreciate it's a full circle moment for me because, okay, this is what I went to school for in the first damn place. And to get that motivation and that drive back to actually get into, record and all that type of stuff, edit things and do stuff on my time, right? If you apply that same mentality into your other talents, because you have other talents, right? That's not just your only talent. I know for a long time we thought that was, okay, this is our only talent, this is our way out. But in actuality, it wasn't really our only talent or our only way out. It was the easiest path at that certain point in time for us, but it wasn't the only way out, so to speak. And you learn as you get older, damn, I have these talents, I have that talent, but the one thing that ties together is the mindset, right? And how you attack and how you work for it. So if you have that same work ethic mindset that you had in regards to building your football career, you do the same thing, whatever career you want to as well. Every person is unique, right? Every person is unique in regards to their own story. Everybody has a story, right? That matters, right? So just talking to me, with talking to you, there's a story. I know your story, but in talking with you, people know your story and what you've been through and things like that.
Bye.